The wall's gone, and I found out the direct wire LED replacement tubes in that light way back over there are horrible for video. Here, let me speed up some footage and you'll see what I mean. Luckily, I'll be pulling out that fixture and moving one of the other ones with a ballast in its place. We're on like day 74 now, and construction, well, it's finally almost about to begin. I had some issues getting to a number that I was comfortable with, and we had to come up with a few compromises. But we're past that. All the permits are approved, and I'm finishing up a couple more things before the carpenters come in. There's a dumpster out back, and my nephew and I spent a day tearing down that old orange wall. You might wonder why we're tearing down the wall. After all, the plans still have a wall right there. Well, the wall was okay, but it wasn't very good for sound isolation, and instead of building a second wall inside that wall, we decided to rip out this wall and build a new, better one in its place. We'll be using resilient channel, and it'll have insulation inside too. Oh, also Red Shirt Jeff found out what we were doing and insisted on helping out in his own way. I've been living my life as a series of time lapses lately. Without the wall, the space actually looks a little smaller for some reason, but today's task is to fill in the holes in the remaining walls and remove the ceiling grid in the area where the studio will be. We're building what's called a hard lid, and above that we'll have sound insulation. Then below that, I'm going to install a new ceiling grid with new lighting and electrical connections. And there are a million tricks to every step of construction, like knowing when to use spackle, which shrinks, and when to use nail filler, which doesn't. But in IT, there's one rule of thumb most of us live by, and that's try the simplest fix first. Like if you ever ask an IT person how to fix a problem, the first thing they'll always ask is whether you tried turning it off and on again. Or after that, they'll do a little percussive maintenance. Well, maybe not that hard, but it's amazing how often a well-placed slap will fix some intermittent problem. A few months ago, Caleb from the second Empire Strikes Back mentioned his old lift wasn't working anymore.
So this is the lift control right here, or the basket lift control, because there's two controllers, one here, one on the main body opposite of that area right there. But this is the one that was having what we thought was a microchip issue.
He's restoring a beautiful old mansion in North St. Louis, and to work on the 3-story facade, he goes up in a lift. The basket controller was broken, and I told him I'd love to give it a once-over. I took it apart and found the main PCB was a little squished. Not great, but all the traces seemed to be intact, and I couldn't find any fault in the resettable fuse or any of the other circuits I could reach. So I spent a few minutes cleaning all the exposed connections with alcohol, took it apart, put it back together, and gave it back. And what do you know? The thing works again.
Now let's get back up high because I finally got that lift working. Special shout out to Jeff who had the controller, the basket controller for the lift. I've been waiting for this for a while and I've had it working for 2 days now. I'm so excited.
So now my friend can get back up to the exterior of his beautiful old home and restore that woodwork back to the glory it once had. I told him I thought the problem could maybe be the little microprocessor chip, but I couldn't find any specs online since his hardware is far from open source. But luckily, as often is the case, the problem was fixed by just giving it a little gentle percussive maintenance. So by this time next week, hopefully the first new walls will be in place. We'll see. With construction, delays are pretty much the name of the game. Fingers crossed I'll be able to move into this space before fall, but we'll see. I'll be working more on that Pi NVR, Pi hole, and a few other fun Pi projects here now that Raspberry Pis are back in stock, so subscribe. Until next time, I'm Jeff Geerling.